The death toll in the Gaza Strip is rising as the Israeli ground offensive enters its second day, as Stephanie just pointed out. Palestinian sources say more than 250 have died since Israel's air and new ground campaign began. And Israel says one Israeli soldier has been killed in the offensive. On Friday, many Palestinians buried their dead, and protests against Israel's actions were held across the world. CCTV's Nathan King has been following this. He joins us from our newsroom with more on the situation inside Gaza. Nathan.
Right, let's give you the Palestinian perspective. As Israel is reportedly to significantly widen its ground offensive against militants in Gaza. That's according to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And, it's a tense territory for the best of times in Gaza because of Israeli control of what goes in and out. It's actually been compared to an open-air prison for 1.8 million people. I've been there during the conflict back in 2011. I can tell you it's very frightening because there's seemingly nowhere to go, especially if the crossing towards Sinai into Egypt is closed. On Friday, as we said, Palestinians held a number of funerals, including one for a 5-month-old baby boy. Doctors say he was killed by tank shelling. Hamas, which, as you know, controls the Gaza Strip, is vowing to resist Israel's ground assault. Hamas says it will not accept a ceasefire, as we've been reporting, until Israel agrees the end of blockade of Gaza from the sea, opens crossings to allow goods to pass through, as well as the release of prisoners.
Any ceasefire agreement should include all what the Palestinians need about lifting the siege, opening the border, implementing Agreement 2012, implementing the agreement of the prisoner exchange, and give a free work for the political process in the government and election for the Palestinians. Without that, there is no talking from the Palestinian side about any ceasefire.
As the death toll rises, there's growing anger in the Muslim world and elsewhere. Demonstrations outside the Israeli embassy in the Turkish capital, Ankara, saw stone throwing and police resorting to the use of tear gas. We've seen similar demonstrations in Pakistan and Jordan. Meanwhile, Israel said Friday that it's expanded its ground operation to target the network of cross-border tunnels in Gaza that Hamas uses to move supplies and men in and out of the Strip.
Nathan, what about mediation efforts, the Egyptians, for example?
Well, for example, Stephanie did touch on all the diplomacy that's going on. The big problem for the Palestinians is the new Egyptian government, Sisi. Remember, they had very close ties to the Muslim Brotherhood government, who really were the interlocutors, if you like, between Hamas and the rest of the world. Now that it's a military government again, which is seen to have closer ties to Israel, Hamas leadership in Gaza Strip really doesn't trust Cairo right now.
Alrighty, Nathan King reporting live from our newsroom. We will check back with you later.
Thanks.
Thank you for the update.